Okay, hey everybody. Hey, so we're gonna have kind of a split assignment for November 6th, Monday. Some of you will be working on a time-lapse video, and some of you will be working on a dimension project. We only have 4 intervalometers that work successfully with 4 cameras. Or rather, we have 4 cameras that work with intervalometers. So we have more Canon intervalometers than we do Sony. So that was one of the problems that I think Brianna and Jaden were having with their Canon. It was getting all weird. It is Canon number 2 and I can't get it to work right. Anyway, so I've got Simon, Easton, Crystal, and Sam on their time-lapse video, and the rest of you on working on your package rendering in Dimension. If you remember from last semester, the videos for your package, you can actually go to YouTube and see the rest of the playlist for Dimension tutorials. So review those, start rendering your package assignments, your package design in Dimension 3D, and we're gonna walk over here to the intervalometer. I just wanted to show you real quick for a time lapse. Oh, this one's still on. I was just messing around with it. So this Canon 2, I can't seem to get to work successfully with the intervalometer very well. So we're gonna, unfortunately, we don't have enough Canon cameras to match the number of Canon intervalometers, because remember, they have 2 different connections. So the Sonys just plug in to the side right here, nice and clean and neat. And what we're gonna do is review this real quick. Pretty much the same for time lapse as it is for stop motion. Stop motion, after all, is nothing more than, or a time lapse is nothing more than a stop motion. You just don't have any control over the action most of the time, or it's just kind of a different dynamic. So as you can see, the little line under there, and I'll move it. The only thing I'm gonna do different is I'm gonna move it under this N for the number of images that I will allow it to take, and I'm gonna say set. Remember, we had it on 399. So if I go up 1 from 399, that's basically gonna be infinity. I'm gonna set that for infinity, just because everybody's time lapse is gonna be different, and I don't know how many shots you're gonna take. If you might wanna take more than 399, that'll leave it open. If you only take 180, that's still fine. So, and your seconds, your interval settings are all gonna be dependent on your subject matter. If you're shooting the stars in the sky, you might move it to, 10 minutes apart. And then if you're shooting, my battery's getting low. If you're shooting, like I think Easton is gonna shoot him doing a sketch, so you might wanna do those maybe, 1 minute apart. And if you're just shooting like cars driving by or something, you might want to keep it at like 10 seconds. I don't know. It's all your artistic decision as to how you want to do this. So I've got all these set up. I've tested all the intervalometers and got them all working except for Canon 2, actually. So if you want to mess around with Canon 2, be my guest, have fun, drive yourself crazy. It's weird and wacky. Okay. In the meantime, I had set. I had set it to 0. So let's set it again to 5 seconds. And there we go. We're shooting pictures of the desktop. Literally a desktop. All right, enough of that. So I went through, and please turn these things off after we're done. Say batteries, I charged up all the batteries. Everybody should be at 100%. Checked all the intervalometers. That one is good. It's the problem child. Sony 3 looks good. Or Canon 3. Yeah, Canon 3 looks good. Sony 3 looks good. And Sony 4 looks good. So that leaves us 4 cameras and 4 intervalometers that seem to be working smoothly. I want you to go out on location or wherever. If you can shoot in the design center, that's fine too. If you need to go off and do it, you can check out these cameras and intervalometers and tripods for a week. So you'll need to do that. You will absolutely must use a tripod and have 100% stable setup for your time-lapse video. If you're using artificial control lighting, keep it consistent. Make sure to take time to deliberately and professionally set up your shot with a good angle and good lighting. If you're in an uncontrolled environment, like out in nature or in the night sky or the day sky or the rain or the trees blowing or whatever, just think about your shot, set up a good angle. You're not going to really be able to control the light that much. The light changing may be actually a part of your time lapse. So you just want to take these things into account, think about, plan, and plan ahead. And this is hopefully, I'll be adding some more details to this assignment later. So like I said, 4 of you can check out your cameras for time lapse. When you get done with your time lapse, you can pass it on to one of these fine folks here, and then you can start on your dimension project. Not expecting to see anything until, you'll have a week to work on this stuff, basically is what I'm saying. So, but don't wait till the last day to do a time lapse, because actually today, Monday, that you're watching this probably, is beautiful outside. It's gorgeous. It's 70 degrees and sunny. So it's a perfect day to do a time lapse. If you wait too long, it's weird. It's October. The weather could get crazy, so you may be stuck inside doing something, and that's okay too. Whatever you choose to do. Okay, so like I said, we've got 4 cameras matched up with intervalometers for you to use. There's Sony number 1, Sony number 1, Sony number 2, Sony number 3, and Canon number 4. Now, like I said, we have more Canon intervalometers than we have Canon cameras, it seems, that are usable anyway. So make that work for you guys. They're up here on the shelf just like this. They should be undisturbed for you to use. And all the batteries should be at 100%. Everything should have a card in it. And if you dare, if you're up for a challenge, if you're feeling like you want to be really frustrated, you can venture into the Canon number 2 and see if you can get it working with an intervalometer. Okay.